Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh with Meta Endurance.
And I'm Tees with Midsole Endurance, and today we're having a look at the Under Armour Velociti Distance. So let's take a look at the specs of this shoe. It has 38 millimeters of Hover Plus foam, which is a supercritical TPU in the heel with a 6 millimeter drop to the forefoot. It comes in just under 300 grams at 298 grams. It also will set you back $160, 160 euros, and it's available right now to buy. It's already out on the market.
I feel like I've really enjoyed this upper, especially this kind of like heel section here. It has quite a lot of structure to it. I felt very good like heel lockdown. There's a lot of padding. I mean, as an everyday high mileage shoe, it's kind of something you would expect, especially with its slightly higher weight, I'd say. But the upper is overall really good. It's really breathable, especially in this forefoot section here. And then the gusseted tongue, I didn't have any issues when it came to like rubbing or any kind of like hot spots with the lacing system. I mean, the laces that came with the shoe, they aren't particularly high quality feeling, I feel like, but I didn't have any issues with them coming undone throughout my runs and that kind of thing.
Similar to you, I quite enjoyed the upper. It's like a woven mesh kind of thing, something you would see in most daily trainers. It is actually a long run shoe is how it's marketed, as a long run shoe, and so I think comfort is really important. Like you said, nice cushioning and support in the heel. It's quite a hard heel counter. And yeah, the semi-gusseted tongue keeps it good. So I didn't have any complaints about the upper. Maybe the laces could have been a bit better. They did come undone, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that this is designed to be a long run shoe because actually, if we move down into the midsole now, that's kind of where the shoe comes alive. But I think it's also the part where we've had some of the bigger issues with the shoe. There's these kind of like sections on the lateral and medial side of the shoe which are quite hard. I think when we first had the shoe in hand, we were quite surprised actually with like how this almost feels like a hard plastic almost.
Yeah, super firm.
And then there's the very soft Hover Plus foam just beneath that. What was your kind of experience with that when you first put it on?
Yeah, good question. I think the inserts are actually a TPU, just normal TPU, not supercritical. So they're really firm, and they're actually just on the outside. They're not on the inside of the shoe. So the Hover Plus foam runs through the whole thing. And what I found is that they were really, really firm and actually made my foot. Maybe it's for stability that it was there, but I found that it actually caused me to have really uncomfortable ride in this shoe. It was causing me to supinate when I actually pronate, which means that my foot was landing like this, but I was forced to run like this, which was a bit of an uncomfortable feeling. I think it's not a very forgiving shoe if you do pronate or if you do have an exaggerated foot strike because it wants you to run flat, if not supinate slightly. And I think the reason that they included it was for stability, because the rest of the foam is so soft, so bouncy. I don't know, did you have a similar experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you say. I mean, we're both forefoot runners. I think that when we landed with our feet, we wanted more of a natural kind of foot motion where our foot was kind of coming down and slowly moving towards like the central kind of like neutral position. But this shoe kind of just like felt like it was like boom and then straight back down to kind of like neutral flat, which I feel like definitely kind of messed with my legs a little bit. I felt a few niggles coming after doing a few runs in this shoe. However, on another note, I do think that if somebody was like a heel striker or something, for example, these kind of two rails would help guide the foot kind of through the motion. And you'd have a bit more of that kind of like flexibility in the heel where it's super soft.
Yeah.
And then these two rails would kind of guide your foot to kind of through the whole gait cycle.
Yeah, I would say the ride is actually, minus these two inserts, which I think cause some stability problems for me, I think the ride is actually quite enjoyable in that it is a very soft ride. It is very cushioned. You think this is the same foam used in their racing shoe, so it must have some bounciness, some flexibility, some softness, which you do feel, you know, if you really, you know, if you land on this, if you were to do a squish in the shoe, you can definitely see that foam compress and bounce. It's just really my problem was with these stability inserts. For me, if you land like this, you basically get none of that soft foam because you're just landing on this hard plastic. But again, like you said, the ride is actually quite enjoyable. Beyond that, like the shoe, the foam, the actual softness and dampening effect when you land correctly is really good.
Yeah, and I mean, you tested it at a few different paces, didn't you? I mean, you used it for kind of an up-tempo session that we did once as well. And what did you think of it then?
Yeah, so taking it up to faster paces, I think that's when I experience the stability problem the most for me, because that's probably when my foot is most likely to pronate. The least amount of stability, highest amount of turnover, so you know, you really don't get rewarded for something forcing you to run differently to how you normally do. But I did feel like it was able to carry that faster paces. They market it as a long run shoe. It's meant to be exclusively or used primarily for their long runs in the Velociti lineup. But for me, this is actually more of a versatile, I wouldn't say do it all, but you can definitely go up tempo in this shoe. You can do faster stuff. Maybe you couldn't do intervals, but I did find myself using them and feeling like they were pretty good for that. Again, bar those few stability problems. And so I think, yeah, maybe it's a long run shoe that you can even use for longer sessions, tempo sessions as well. I wouldn't say it's exclusively for your easy miles. Did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I haven't quite pushed it up to the paces that you've pushed it to, but over the last few weeks now, I mean, we've both put about like 30-40k maybe in the shoe, so we can't really comment on the durability, especially of the outsole of the shoe, particularly now. But maybe we'll have a more long-term review in the future. But I mean, did you have any issues with the grip of the shoe?
Yeah, honestly, bad time of the year to ask me this question. It's been nice and sunny. It's been great weather here in Belgium. So bad time to ask. Not really tested it in the rain or wet conditions. But we've taken it to a few gravel runs, taken it to the city streets, diverse kind of ground. And I didn't find grip was a problem. I didn't really see much wear on my shoe. Like you said, we've probably done only like 40k in them or so. But it does seem like quite a grippy, durable shoe. I mean, for me, there was no problem in the grip. I didn't experience any problems, probably because of the weather, but I guess similar experience for you.
Yeah, and there's definitely really thick kind of coverage of the outsole, so I think this shoe will definitely be able to go into the hundreds of kilometers, especially as an everyday daily trainer. That's kind of what you would expect from like a daily workhorse kind of shoe.
So Josh, at $160, 160 euros, what do you think of this shoe? Is it worth it? Where does it sit for you?
Yeah, so I mean, $160, there's a lot of shoes in that price bracket right there, and a lot of really good daily trainers as well. For me, the Velociti Distance, it kind of sits in that bracket really well. I mean, it has really good cushioning and really good durability, and if you're looking for a slightly higher stack shoe with good cushioning, but also you want a bit of stability elements, but you don't necessarily want it to feel like a stability shoe, I feel like that's exactly what this shoe does really well. So I definitely would recommend it to people. Yeah. How about you, Tees?
Yeah, for me at $160, like you said, the market is so varied and so dynamic. There's so many options on the market, and it's definitely not at the higher end. If you look at an On or another brand which has similar options but for maybe more premium price points, then this sits kind of on par with the market. So do I think it's worth 160? I think it sits, like you said, it's a good shoe that sits similar to a lot of these trainers. There might be better ones on the market. I do think there are probably better options for $160, but the shoe does give you a lot of bang for buck in terms of durability, in terms of this full length hover plus foam, which is the same as their racing shoe. Not a lot of shoes do that nowadays. So I do think $160, fair enough, it's kind of on par with the market, but maybe you can also get better things.
And so what would you kind of use it for in your kind of weekly daily mileage?
For me, again, like I said, maybe I have taken it to faster paces. I have used that up-tempo effort, and I think that's maybe pushing it a bit too far. So you definitely can take it to your longer sessions, to doing some faster miles. But I think at the end of the day, this is a long run shoe, which you're meant to use for your longer runs, and maybe you pick up the pace a little bit. So for me, this goes in the long runs, easy, steady category, daily trainer, if you want something that, again, like you said, it gives you that bouncy ride, but also has a bit of stability in it. While that may not work for me, I think it does work for a lot of people. Maybe it's also due to the way we land. Like you said, heavier runners might benefit a bit more from that. So yeah, in summary, long run, daily trainer. Sometimes if you want to, you can take it to a bit faster paces. And is that something you agree with?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
I definitely think that's something that a lot of people are looking for, and something that this shoe does really well. And if you'd like to see more of our reviews, and especially, I mean, we've mentioned it quite a lot in this video, the Velociti 3, be sure to go check it out. We'll link it up there in the top right hand corner. And if you have any questions or any comments about this shoe, let us know in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your run, enjoy your ride, go beyond your limits, and we'll see you in the next one.